Yo, what's up, man? It's Never Enough Game. Your boy City right here.
Man, what that shit do? What that shit do?
What it fucking do?
Yee.
Head tilt back, you know where we at. Got the thing in my grass and we living life fast. And I put that on the dub, motherfuckers got hang. What you want, what you talk, what you rap for the game.
Okay. Last
What's
week
poppin'?
it was a little bit rumble in the jungle. Nah,
I'm not
just-
gonna
Rumble
lie.
in the jungle.
I'm just gonna say this right now, even though I haven't seen the podcast yet, but I know I was feeling myself towards the end. And it get like that sometimes.
My
You
boy
know what I'm
was
saying?
ripped at the end of the thing.
Hey, it get like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm grown enough to admit, you feel me? Sometimes I get a little tipsy and sometimes I start acting like sometimes I'm cocky or I'm an asshole or whatever.
What was that shit?
But for the most part, I keep it silent, but give me a couple drinks and I'll start talking a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even remember what the fuck we said.
I know you don't.
You were
because
ripped out of
I
everybody.
don't remember you guys leaving. I remember you leaving, but I don't remember like him or like I got a picture up
My
there.
boy
Look at that
Simon
picture up
was
there. I don't
fucking
remember getting
blacked
that
out.
picture. I got that picture that day. Somebody came and gave me that picture.
What the fuck? My boy's getting gifts
They're
and
like,
shit.
here's this picture for you. And I set it up right there, and then like I woke up the next day like, where the fuck did that picture come from? And that's bad. I don't encourage that
They're
shit.
bringing gifts.
Make
my
sure
boy.
you guys drink responsibly. You feel me? If you're drinking and you start feeling yourself feeling a little bit tipsy, just leave the cup right there. And trust me, that shit will die down and then you can sip that again. But if you try to race that shit, as soon as you hit that level where, I'm fucked up or I'm starting to, and you continue to drink, you're setting yourself up for failure. What you got to do is as soon as you start feeling that little like, okay, I'm buzzing, leave that cup alone. Leave it right there. It ain't going to run away as long as you watching it. And ain't nobody like Sergio or Flock's going to grab it.
You babysitting the
You know what I'm
babysitting
saying?
the cup.
Basically babysitting, and then until you feel a little bit better, and you can grab and hit that shit again because that's what I did the next day. So the next day I had a studio session, and I drank a couple bottles, but I was very cautious. Like I stayed up about the same amount of time. I remember everything. I went to bed and woke up fucking straight. But the day of the podcast, oh yeah, I blacked out. I'm not gonna lie.
that Jack Daniels
shit.
is what hit me. Fool.
Nah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Hey,
what I'm
fool.
saying. What were we drinking?
That
Because,
what I can do
look,
with the
dog,
Jack.
That's the problem. You can't be mixing like Hennessy with Jack and Crown. Like that's where I fucked up, and probably where you fucked up too, and you didn't know.
I just drank Jack Daniels, but I ain't never drank Jack Daniels before.
You drank Hennessy.
Did I?
See,
I don't remember that.
He blacked out, my boy.
I drank. Apparently,
This fool gets violent though
look,
when
fool,
he
I'm
be
going
drunk.
off of what my girl told me. Apparently, I drank. Look, the Hennessy, bam, empty. The Jack, I had a couple shots of that, but then the homie that was right here in the corner, he had a whole bottle of Crown, and I drank all that with him to the neck. And then my girl took pictures of me and this fool all fucking drunk, hugging each other like,
Fucking
No, my
hangover
man.
and
yeah,
shit.
for real.
What? Okay. So last week, we was a little bit ripped and whatnot. It happens though. I mean, if you can't get rid with your homies, then I mean, who the fuck can you get rid with? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how was your week, bro?
My week has been pretty good. Pretty chill. I just been recuperating like my thoughts as far as like writing more music because I try to like my thing with me is that I'm always trying to make music. I'm always trying to like fucking do the most. I'm always thinking I'm not doing enough. And I just wrote a whole song last week, and this week I'm trying to push myself to write something, and I actually can't. So I'm just like, I know that means my brain's like, you need to relax this week. But sometimes I'll just be thinking like, there ain't no time to relax. You gotta be doing something every fucking day. But that's a lie. Like, if you think you a talented ass rapper and you could do all that and fucking rap every single day and have a song every single day, you're lying. You're lying to yourself and you're lying to your fans. Your brain needs a break. You know what I'm saying?
You know what
Hey,
I
fool,
always
your
feel?
phone, dog.
You know what I always think about with like rapping or
What's wrong
things like
with
that?
shit, though?
It's doing that again.
Oh, okay.
What I always
It's
think
making
is
a little
like when you're
static
about
noise
to
and
rap
shit.
or you're gonna do something like that, my main thing is who am I around? You know what I'm saying?
Facts, because you can feed off the people around you.
That's how we kind of started off when we first
Yeah.
came up. Like you'll say some shit, this fool say some shit, I'll say some shit, and it'll just push us to do better.
I used to feed off of him.
I used to feed off of everybody.
Cause he'll be like, as soon as I would get to your guys' fucking like house, This fool would be in there already working, and he's like, "Oh, hey, come check this shit out. This is the hook that I got to this, and I already got the verse." I'm like, "Damn, motherfucker, can I hop?" I remember specifically it was for Put That on the Dub. When you showed me that, I was like, "Oh, damn, that's just crazy as hell."
That shit was some fire.
Hell yeah.
Damn, yeah, I remember that shit. It's because the thing with this fool is that he writes hella fast. So I used to be like, man, the only way to compete with this motherfucker is to write overtime. You have to be overtime and shit.
No, you know what? And I have to take something back because I think I either said this in 13 questions or I said this here, but I said that the verse for Put That on the Dub was written in Fouts, and that was a lie. The verse that was written in Fouts was the first song I did with you at your house, and it had I don't know if it had Dola or if it had J
Soldier Story.
No. It was
it wasn't Soldier
Fast
Story.
Fast Money.
No, it wasn't Fast Money either. That was like the second song I did. It was a different one. I forget what the fuck it is.
Those are some slappers though.
But
Yeah,
it was your song, the fucking Mi Vida Loca.
Ooh, that one was dope.
Okay.
Huh? Niggas used to look those up on
I
YouTube.
think it was.
They were
Hey,
shitting.
fool, I fucking look, I had a lot of shit written inside, and then a lot of shit that I written on the outs, but there was specifically a verse that I had on the inside. Oh no, now I remember. My bad. The Spence out. It was the one that you had, the one that was like, this is West Vallejo tunes and we ain't gonna stop till all these fucking dropping. We up to the top.
Yeah.
Okay, that one. The verse that I had at the end of that, when I was like, we some soldiers under recognition making criminal decisions.
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this fool came up with some
So
stupid bars.
that verse
Yeah.
was made in Fouts. Okay, now I got my memory correct. I had to cruise down memory lane real quick in my head.
Fool, you came. We were in Fouts. You made that shit there.
I made that in Fouts.
Yeah.
And you told me the hook, and I made it, and you got out.
Oh yeah.
And then I spit it to that, and because it was you,
And then I went in.
and then it was your brother, and then it was me, because this fool was all like, Flacco started it, so let me continue. This is BBH, that's it with the gangster in you. And I was like, ugh, nigga, let me fucking just go rip this shit.
Hey,
You feel
fool.
me? Hey, fool, that was some dope ass shit back then. But, so you feel me? So that was that. But what I wanted to say was, because I want to correct myself. If I ever see myself in a mistake, I feel like I should be man enough to, address it and kind of correct it a little bit, even though it ain't nothing that big. But for Put That on the Dub, I did not make that verse in jail. I made that actually.
In county.
No.
Yeah.
It was during my first job. My first job that I ever had was sweeping downtown Vallejo. That's in the West.
Sweeping downtown.
I was sweeping downtown Vallejo, sweeping up leaves. And I was sweeping up leaves. And I remember I rehearsed, like I just started rapping. And it was to no beat or anything. It was just like I had a tempo in my head. I try to keep the tempo and I try to just like write a verse in my head. I don't know if you probably did it in county or prison or whatever the fuck. I know I have. But like I was just writing a verse, being like out, just sweeping. That is how I did for Put That on the Dub.
Fool, Put That on the Dub. You came out of fucking county. And then
No.
you already had some shit in your head.
No. I'm sorry, but I gotta deny that because I did write it.
My fucking memory is fucked up.
No,
Okay,
I did write it. Maybe I still had it with me. You know what I'm saying? Like as I went to county, but when that time came to spit that verse, it was something I already had.
Did he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you just came through. This is what I remember. You just came through, and then I'm like, "Hey, fool, I already know this motherfucker already got something." Like, if as soon as there's something open, I'm like, I'm gonna go pick up this fool styling.
You know who still carries that trait?
Huh?
Is him. He does. Like I feel like Sergio, he carries like some of the good traits of back then that everybody like don't have anymore. Like just having verses ready. Like sometimes this fool will have a verse ready that he wrote for a different ass beat. It's like, yeah, this was for a beat that was blah blah blah, but it will go good to this one. Like I don't do that no more, and I feel like that helped me. You always have verses on standby. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Or at least like half a verse
At
started
least
or
half
whatever.
a verse, something you can
You know
throw
what I'm
on
saying?
that bitch.
And then this will be like, oh, I got something. And then I'm like, ah, damn, this fool. He's like, no, I didn't write to this. I was writing to this, but it goes to this. I'm like, fuck. And I remember I used to do that, and I got it from him. So that's what I used to do. But what I used to do differently is I used to write verses, just doing daily routines. Like I'll be on the block, or I'll be downtown sweeping, or kicking it with the homies, or whatever. Like I would just like rehearse verses, like start making one with no beats at all. Like I would just start thinking of something.
The reason I like to do that too, and I do that shit still sometimes, is because I feel like, and I was just talking to my brother about this the other day. We was driving around, and I was like, look, sometimes it's better because at the end of the day, this is therapy, bro. And what you got to do is when you got a beat, it's kind of pushing you to say something that you might not even really want to say, or be in a mode you might not really be in. You cut the bullshit out, cut the beat off. And what I find nowadays, like I'll be running a business or doing this, that, or the third, and I need some type of way to express myself, and I'll do it without the beat. You feel me? And I'll just start saying some shit that I feel like I need to say just to get it out of myself, and then it just comes down.
With the beats, it makes you think
And then you
too
start
much.
writing it down and shit.
Just start writing it down just
Yeah.
randomly, and it touches me. And then if you got a beat that goes with it, cool. But even then, like sometimes I don't even write it down, dog.
That's
Like
bullshit.
I'll just be driving around and I just say what I really feel. And sometimes
forget.
no, but I'm not saying it in a form to make music. I'm saying in a more form of therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Facts.
you need to say shit
Me too.
sometimes you need to say things that are not being said. You see what I'm saying? Like for example, you might be afraid of something, right? You might be purposely hiding conversation about a certain topic. And when you making music, you gotta be authentic. So what you do is when you say it out loud and you say, "Nigga, this is my fucking problem." You feel me? This, that, or this motherfucker, or this or that, and then you say it out loud. That shit's kind of therapeutic, bro. And I never had took therapy or none of that shit, but I think that shit will help you mentally, and that's what I do.
You know what I noticed? And I started noticing this right now just by talking to you or mainly hearing you speak, is that people like us, I can only speak for us because I know what we have been through. I can't speak for everybody else, but this is another form of therapy for trauma that's untreated. Because
What?
I believe that we all have been through some trauma, PTSD and all that. Like
Yeah,
we've been through some traumatic events, whether you like to accept it or not. I know I have. I can for sure 100% speak for myself. There's times where I'm all like, hey, what was that? And I'm thinking it's like something happening, but it's really not. Like I'm just tripping. It's just somebody knocking at the door. And I'm like, fuck, I was tripping right now. Like I thought somebody was shooting in front of the house. Like, but my girl was just knocking at the door. Like, cause I thought,
paranoid.
cause the knock was so on point with the plop, plop,
Dog,
plop.
the
You know what
other
I'm saying?
day,
That happens to me still. You know what I'm saying?
No, shit like that. But I had my auntie pull up on a Ford Explorer, and I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" I thought it was the police. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Same thing. My fucking neighbor has a fucking heavy ass diesel fucking truck, and I be thinking it's like I'm about to get raided because they be having the big armored trucks and all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's untreated trauma. So
How do you treat it?
You treat it by going to therapy with your doctor. But the thing is that
counselor?
us being where we come from, we don't do that shit.
Yeah,
you know what
we
I'm
look
saying?
at it down,
like we
downwards.
can if we want because we're older and we know that those sources are available to us. But I think we're at the age where we already went through that at our younger like stages in life that we kind of became accustomed to knowing
It's normal to us.
to knowing that it's normal and that basically like it's gonna like because we do music, you know what I'm saying?
That's the
and
therapy.
that's what happens. Why do you think all these like? Why do a lot of people that are in the streets or in the gang like blow up if they're good at music? Because they're good at expressing what they've been through or dealing with their trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of hard.
That's true.
For me personally to remember somebody that was like that blew up, that was a fake gangster that was talking about some like real street shit. Like me personally, I can only speak for myself.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is that people that go through the most roughest type of environments usually blow up because they're being very authentic and they're trying to like they're basically expressing themselves, and that's art.
No. I'm not saying that it's because they're going through the most. I'm just saying that there's so many people going through trauma that is untreated, like clinically.
And rap is like a therapeutic thing.
There's so many people using rap as a therapeutic element to suppress that there's more chances of people blowing up that we see often. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we see so many rappers from different areas that come from fucked up backgrounds and then they end up dying or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Because I feel like everybody that comes up, because a lot of these dudes that die, that come from hood backgrounds or whatever, some people could even vouch that they come from harder backgrounds than them, but they just got played a different hand. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that in general, people that come from either a gang environment or a hood environment, whatever you want to call it, like they use music as therapy for trauma that they're going through, but they don't even know that they're giving themselves self therapy. They don't know it. Like I didn't know back then, but as I'm older, like if I don't rap, I start getting frustrated, and I'm all like,
yeah, me too.
Man, I need to fucking
beat
rap.
somebody up.
Yeah. No, I might give some motherfuckers some attitudes.
You get anxiety.
I do. Look, one thing I'll tell you for sure, I have high anxiety, and it's been there since fucking since Fouts and fucking before that. I just have high anxiety. I'm just that type of guy. I get high anxiety. If I hear about a problem, I want to solve it right away. I'm not the type of person that's gonna hear about a problem direct towards me and be like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, even if you're a nobody, I'm gonna be like, hey, what's up with you? What the fuck is going on? Like, who are you?
I get what you're saying about the rapping part. I have a different outlook on it, which is not saying you're incorrect, but it's just saying that I have a different outlook on it. You might be correct as well. I just haven't gone through that. But something that I went through, and my thought process is, I feel like you can be an intelligent individual growing up in a fucking poverty-stricken area, right? And this is a modern day age. So what happens in this modern day age is we actually have the chance to be from nothing to something just on your own motivation and free will.
By your mind,
but what ends up happening is we end up being in these little trapped areas like Vallejo, like Oakland, Los Angeles, and they have their designated sections where the majority of the people are populated by minorities now. And not to say even that because you know what, it's who's ever around that area. You know what I'm saying? Poverty-stricken areas. Just so happens though the majority are minorities, but it's poverty-stricken, so everybody's in the same boat together. Now, my point is this. Sometimes you have people that are a lot more intelligent than other people. You feel me? That they can actually articulate their thoughts faster than other people. We never read a lot of books when we were growing up, but we fucking caught on to words.
Why not?
Well, that was not in our lifestyle. My point.
I mean, yeah, it was. Because when you're in jail, when I was in juvenile hall, that's when I started reading books. I never picked up a book until I was in juvenile hall.
Okay, so what I meant to say is,
isn't that it? I'm not trying to cut you off, but isn't that crazy that at the same time that juvenile hall is helping you by like reading books, you also got
I learned how to read there.
You also got worse every time you got out.
Hey, when you get out, you turn into like a fucking little maniac.
My point is
go ahead.
that when we were doing all that shit and learning words and things like that, it wasn't because we were doing good. We did something to take us to jail, and that's where we learned it. And even then, it was temporary because we were only there for like a month, 2 months, 3 months, or whatever the fact was, and then we would get out. So, but there was a lot of people that were in the same situations as you and me, but didn't catch on that fast. Didn't learn the words that quick. Didn't know how to articulate their thoughts that fast. You put them in front of a mic and they couldn't do shit with it. You see what I'm saying? So for me, what it is you're a smart person. You're obviously smart because to rap it's rhythm. You feel me? And poetry, right? And you gotta be authentic. And not everybody fits that fucking stereotype or that criteria to be able to do that type of shit. So when I hear somebody rap really well, like when he's fucking doing some like double entendres and shit, and he's doing like some fucking metaphors that are just crazy, I automatically think this guy's smart, because he did that. But the other thing also I'm thinking is he smart enough to make it out? Because
it's untapped potential.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people that I know that are dead, rest in peace,
Facts.
that were probably better than me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Creeper, Chino was hella good. And those guys were smart, but they just were not
They put the smarts in the
smart enough. I feel like they weren't all the way to where they should have gone. So my point is this. I get what you're saying. But not everyone can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Not everybody. Yeah.
Not everyone. So it takes a certain level of mentality, and that's what makes it so special. Because as you get older, you don't got time for that shit no more. Because now you got to take care of your kids. Now you got to take care of these bills. Now you got responsibilities that you didn't used to have.
Your mind expands. You're not so narrow now. Now you're
your time gets consumed.
But you have a broader mind
Facts.
state. You have a broader mind state. You're looking at the bigger picture now.
But what happens? You always come back to the music, baby.
You come back to it because
it's therapy. It's therapy.
To me, it's like Young Dolph. You feel me? Or it's like fucking these other Burner. Burner comes back because he loves this shit, right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't have to. And me, I come back because I just love it. You feel me? It's therapy to me. That's how it is. Like Young Dolph, you feel me? But we're moving on with our lives. We're taking care of our responsibilities. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, we come back because it's something that's good for us, our heart, our soul, to express ourselves and have other people see what's going on. But that's why when you hear somebody saying that shit and they're from the streets and it's very authentic, I could relate to that person. And when they pass away, that's what makes it hurt even more, because I feel like that could have been me. Like Draco the Ruler, rest in peace. Like when he passed away, that shit really fucked with me. And people might start tripping like, oh, nigga, you said Young Dolph, you said this, that. Look, I told you, I don't really fuck with Slim 400 like that, to be honest with you. But I did fuck with Young Dolph. But when Draco the Ruler died, I was like, that shit kind of hit me a certain way, because I was like, damn, and you know what? To be honest, I knew he was going to pass away. I knew he was going to pass away because the last podcast we had before the last one, I remember I was talking to Yogi, and I told Yogi, hey, bro, listen to this fool, he's dope. And Yogi was like, nah, I don't fuck with him. I'm like, look, bro, he's going to blow up, watch. And in my head, I'm just thinking to myself, I always saw him and his brother like an extension of me and my brother. You know what I'm saying? And so then I whenever I would do something or do music or something like that, I always thought to myself, this shit can either cut my life short right here, or it can make me fucking blow the fuck up in the long run. But if it cut my life short, I was ready for it to get cut short. And that's what I felt like Draco, when I would see him, I would see like, okay, bro, he's got his little brother right there, he's got to do his thing. And when that happened to him, fool, I was like, I wasn't surprised. I opened up and I was like, I knew this was going to happen. It was fucked up the way it went down, but I seen that shit happening to me hella times. And that's why I just relate to him a little more. He was just a little too wild with it. You know what I'm saying? That kind of happens when you're on drugs and you're on all the fucking drugs.
I'm not gonna lie. I never listened to Draco the Ruler or his brother.
Rafi?
I probably heard some of it, but besides that, it's not like I got like these fools on my playlist and shit.
Nah, Rafi gets down, fool. That fool, I'm glad he's even doing this shit, fool. He's
stepping up for his brother. He's doing his damn thing.
Look, at the end of the day,
like someone has to step up for him.
Look, at the end of the day, all this shit. Let me see if I can fix this shit real quick. At the end of the day, all this shit comes down to war, right? So there's always war anywhere you go. Like it's either in the streets or it's in a different country. Like right now, you got Russia that's talking about invading Ukraine and shit like that. And then you got the United States wanting to intervene because they don't want Ukraine to get wiped out and all this other bullshit. How do you guys feel about that shit?
Ukraine and honestly,
it's all in the same country. Yeah, like they're all one big thing, but they're like split in different portions. But Russia wants to invade Ukraine, and fucking United States is like, hey, don't fucking do this.
Okay, I think that the U.S. is gonna get in, fool. I think in history always repeats itself.
It does, but as soon as different countries get involved, that's considered a world war.
That's what I was about to tell you. We're not gonna go to World War though, because we're not. They're way too scared. Because
everybody's scared. No one's gonna do that.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a big ass like
nuclear bombs are gonna go fucking off everywhere, and no one wants to do that no more. It's gonna be like, all right, do we all want to kill?
It's not that nobody wants to do that no more. It's that nobody can.
You know what I think, dog? I think that I think that it depends on who is in the position of power. You know what I'm saying?
Like now.
What we could think as
Nobody that's ever in the position of power are prepared to lose their power. They never want that to happen.
What the fuck is going on with Biden then?
Okay, let me
Biden be right there talking and be like,
Biden's gonna get replaced
no,
by
the
Trump.
thing about Biden, bro, is he's just not prepared to be in that position. But check this out.
He's a soldier.
But he's a soldier at the end of the
Yeah,
day. He
that
was an
makes
actual
sense.
soldier.
He got
But-
kidnapped. He got kidnapped. Like he got obtained, and he was like he got tortured. all
Okay,
that
so
shit.
one of the main things.
What the fuck?
All right,
Yeah,
yo,
what are you
yeah, he was a
talking
prisoner
about,
of war.
He was a prisoner of war.
Yeah, he was a prisoner
and
of
he
war.
fucking got out.
But now check this out. This is why we will not have another world war, right? Okay, Elon Musk, my brother. We were listening to Elon Musk the other day. Okay, he had a good ass fucking. He had a good explanation for this. But even before that, I like to study history a lot.
Which part?
Okay, we will not have another world war, and this is
Okay.
the reason.
Yeah.
Okay, in the First World War, it was basically Germany started the fucking war, and they were like, "Fuck that!" They wanted to beef it with fucking Russia, and then Britain got in the mix, and that caused everyone to go into war. At the end, the United States came to allies for Britain, and they fucking destroyed all the rights for Germany. But my point is this: I'm not gonna get into a history lesson with you motherfuckers about this.
No,
But
go ahead.
no. What I'm gonna tell you
It's
is this
good.
though. Look, there is always world wars. And the
Sweet
reason,
and simple.
Okay, sweet and simple. Well, not gonna be
Yes.
as sweet, but I'm gonna talk to you about the thing. There is always world wars, and the reason why there's world wars is because they have to happen. It has to happen
There has to
because
be
there has to
tension.
be a cleansing. There has to be a cleansing of everything. Everything has to be too because laws become old, and when laws become old, they need to be reset again, right? Because things are changing. The world's always changing. Now, what's gone on now is that everything's changing, right? What happened in the first war? It was totally different. They never had weapons that they had in the First World War, so that caused everything to change again. The First World War. Everybody in that fucking World War was basically what is that shit called? It's a certain word, but basically they were monarchs. They were all monarchs. So basically, Germany was run by a king, Britain was run by a king, and Russia was run by a king. That caused the First World War, and it changed. Everything changed after that. Now the people wanted to be free. The people didn't want to be. They wanted a government that they would be by themselves. They didn't want some fucking family that just happened to have super blood or whatever the fuck.
They were born in it.
Yeah, so they killed the czars. They fucking made Britain still be the king, but he couldn't rule what he was trying to rule. So that changed everything. Now here comes World War II, right? Now it's race superiority. These ideas are popping into people's heads and they're taking over. And what happens? What makes it happen when people are super poor, when they don't have nothing going on, and then it resets.
Rebellion.
And they're rebellious and they come through and they took over again. Now at this point, what happened after the last World War? What happened was that they dropped the bomb in Hiroshima. When they dropped the bomb in Hiroshima, they realized that we cannot go to war no more. If we do go to war, the whole world is going to die. We're going to destroy the fucking world. So when you have that, there's no more direct conflict
the
anymore.
atom bomb in Japan.
Yes. So when you have that, there's no more direct conflict. Because if we are really trying to fucking kill each other, everybody's going to kill each other. We're all going to die. There's not going to be a world to either be the king of.
Either we die off the bomb or the radiation.
But it doesn't
afterwards.
matter. Either way, you're not going to be the king of shit, right? Adolf Hitler had a crazy ass plan to take over the world, not to destroy it. So nobody wants to be the king of nothing. You see what I'm saying? So what ends up happening, right, is now what happens with all the rebellion. What happens with all these old ass laws, bro, that need to be reset, but they're not getting reset because there is no war, because we can't go to war, because then the world's going to destroy itself. It keeps happening and it's building up and it's building up and it's building up. Right now, we have so much laws that we shouldn't have. But the reason is because there's no way we can go to war. And that's human nature. That's how we are. That's how we exist. And that's why we go to war with each other in our neighborhoods or wherever we're at. We have to go to war to reset everything. And that even Elon Musk said that.
Yes.
He said that we can't reset these stupid ass laws that we've made because that usually happens after you go to war. They review, why did we go to war? Why the fuck did we go to war? And they change the laws so they don't happen again. Since we can't go to war anymore, they're not revising these laws. They're just living with them, right?
No,
so they're
what
not
he said,
taking care of the problems.
it's harder to take them, to get rid of the laws than it is to actually put them in.
They're going to let the war happen.
Where?
Here.
Why?
Because the laws need to change.
No.
Because nobody's going to be here.
No. People are going to be here. But if we destroy Earth, we still
need
got
a safe
Mars.
ground. Yeah, we need a safe ground.
Right?
The species still needs to go on.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But the
'cause
thing
war-
is, we're gonna be in
you
tunnels.
you
Why do you think
ne-
they're having the boring company?
Yeah.
Wait though, that has nothing to
you
do.
can never avoid a war. Like what? Like
You could avoid war. Nobody wants to go to
You
war. No
can-
one's going to go to war.
you
If you
can,
change the
but
laws,
not by
yes.
yourself. I mean, by yourself you can. Like if it's with you and one person, that becomes
I'm talking about real war.
a flight and fight. Okay,
That's not war.
Okay, exactly. But I'm talking about like internal conflict and all the other bullshit. But the thing is that when it comes to war, if it depends on what position you're playing.
We talking about real war, like countries in a world war. It will never happen again unless Elon Musk. Right now, check this out. Elon Musk makes Mars. Mars is always going to be alive longer than Earth because it's further than Earth is. So when the sun becomes a supernova and starts to fucking destroy everything, Mars will always be the next step where everyone's going to run to. Right now, now that we got, if this motherfucker terraforms Mars, Earth doesn't seem that dope no more because now, like, nigga, let's destroy this bitch. Fuck you,
In
nigga.
a
It's up to
million
me.
years, Earth is going to burn up.
Yeah, but what I'm talking
eventually-
about in war, right? So now people are not going to be afraid to go to war because they can always go to Mars. Now
it's
it's
gonna be
about
a safe haven. It's gonna be
so
a safe.
now, right now, we can't do shit, right? But if so, that's the main thing about war. War is actually something we need because it resets a lot of the stupid rules that we have, and it resets conflicts. Let's say me and you don't like each other, then we fight. Then after the fight, why did we fucking fight? We
But
fought
what
because of
if-
this reason.
What
Let's-
if their
let's
fight
fucking-
doesn't end though? What if the
The fights
Okay,
never end,
yes.
but they're designed to reset the laws.
Yes, but sometimes there's a fight and then we'll be like, oh, we're cool, we're still alive, everything is good. You know what I mean? But if this fight
Wars.
doesn't end, if this fight
It
doesn't end
depends-
and everybody dies off, like all the way.
That would never happen because the leaders won't want to go to war. It's not my theory. It's fact. You can see it. This is the longest we've ever gone without a world war. And the reason
it's
is
been tension like crazy.
it's been tension.
like
Niggas
crazy.
don't like each other.
There's
What
been
they
a
do
lot
now?
of tension
over
for a
here.
long time.
So that's my point. That's what
It's
I
been
think
it's been ready to go
on
off.
the war type thing. I feel like the reason it is not happening is because it's not gonna happen because there's not another option. Now if we move on,
So right now, you know that Russia is accusing
yes, but it's not gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen.
the United States and NATO of
Overdoing it with the NATO,
overdoing it,
yeah.
and then you have Ukraine that's like it's basically encouraging them to make the first step. You know what I'm saying?
Ukraine used to be part of the Soviet Union. They fell off. They're not fucking with Russia no more. Russia wants to come in and they're about to fucking fight back, but Russia's not going to do it. Because if Russia knows, Putin knows that if he does that, the United States will fucking kill him. That's fact, fool. That's just the facts. You're dealing with the strongest military in the world, fool.
You will fucking die.
That's just the
The
fact.
technology
He's trying to
that
scare
you guys-
motherfuckers because he doesn't want NATO is taking little. What Russia wants is buffer zones around Russia that are fucking that are
Allies.
communist. And if they're not communist, they want a buffer zone with democracy because they don't want it to come and take over. Because then if they come and take over, Putin's gonna lose his power. But really, Putin doesn't want to die. And that's just the end of it. People, it's all about self-preservation, and
Yeah.
motherfuckers is never gonna work that type of
No,
way.
in facts, I hear you.
So, Juanito, what did you do this week?
Oh shit, we back to that, huh?
Okay. Shit, I got sidelined with all this history. No, actually, it's not even history. This shit is going on right now. I've been getting more back into like the work field stuff like that. I've been working my way, like getting closer to the work field, shit like that. I don't know if you guys know or not, but like 3 years ago, I got into like some shit, and I had to go through like health therapy, shit like that, and it's been taking me a cool minute to get back on point, but I'm barely starting to like really like feel like I get like I'm starting to get back on my shit, on the shit that I used to do. I see the comments, I see what y'all be saying, shit like that, and I don't like to speak about too much about what I've been through, shit like that, but like Salim was saying, traumatic events in this life, we do go through some traumatic events. Like what happened with me, type of shit, was like a traumatic event, and that shit caused me to go to the hospital. Fucking woke up, half my body was paralyzed. I woke up, I had to go through hella therapy. From there, I don't really like talking about this shit too much because it starts tripping me out. But basically, my my brother, my brother's he's been helping me out, shit like that. But
Hey, fool. You don't go ahead.
yeah, it's good, fool. Okay, look. So basically, all right. This last week, I've been more in the fucking work, more in the work field, more like in the field, like getting back to the shit, and I've been doing that shit, getting more on the business side. I've been fucking I've been learning how this shit works again, cause it's been taking a little bit of time for me to actually see how this shit is again. But I'm really starting to fucking like I'm starting to see how shit maneuvers again, and that's basically what I've just been doing. And I also been listening to some beats. Cause I'm gonna start dropping some songs. I've been listening to some beats, writing to some shit. The only thing is like my brother said, bro, sometimes you have to just stop the fucking beat and just write some shit off the noggin. Cause sometimes you have some shit in your mind and the beat will make you. It'll be like a happy ass song or happy ass beat, give you some crazy ass tempos and shit. You don't want to rap. You don't want to rap about shit like that. You just want to rap about fucking. You want to rap about some real shit, some shit that's going on really in your life. And like both of these who said, this shit's like therapy. This shit's like therapy, bro. It's like poetry, mainly. It's mainly like poetry, and that's the way I see it.
Hell yeah, facts. No, I agree with you 100%. It be like that. I mean, whatever setback, whatever you're going through, everybody takes their own amount of time to get back on track, and that's how it be. That's just like, when you get sick or you take time off the gym for a while, it's gonna take a little while for you, feel me, to get back to your maximum strength to where you're like, all right, I'm A1 again, and that's normal for every human being. You know what I'm saying? And it just takes time and commitment, and you just stay on it, and you for sure gonna reach that goal.
Something that I've been through this week, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I had like a reawakening this week. It was like some crazy ass shit. I've been down like
My
not
boy
down.
went Super Saiyan.
No. I'm just saying. Look, every once in a while, I read a book or I get a little bit of knowledge that just changed my whole shit. That just changed everything that I've been thinking and the way to think about it. I started reading a new book. The book has been changing, like basically showing me that
What's the name of the book?
The book is called Ready, Fire, Aim. A lot of people aren't gonna get it because you gotta have a business already kind of started to really know what's going on. But it has different stages to this shit, right? So it shows me that it's just like a human life, right? You got 4 stages of a main human life, which is infancy, childhood, adulthood, and maturity. And a business is the same way. A business is the same way. Infancy is 0 to 1 million. 1 million to like 10 million is childhood. Then in there you got adolescence. And then like 40 million and up, that's maturity. And I started pinpointing where I was at, and I started realizing there's a big mistake in how I've been running one of my companies. And I was just like, damn, dude, like, I didn't understand that you have to make sure if you're in that level where you're barely starting your business and you're trying to get to that next level, first you got to realize this. There is a certain level of communication, and communication will start to lack and fail after there is 7 people. After 7 people, communication is gonna fucking fall. It's gonna fuck up. Something you say to him is gonna come back. It's gonna be totally different. So those first 7 people in your company, which is gonna represent the first stage of the business when it goes into infancy, the first stage of people have to fucking be like you. They have to be a fucking representation of you. They have to be an extension of your will. And once they become an extension of your will, they're gonna help the second generation of employees that are gonna come through in the childhood, right? The second generation, but you're not going to have direct communication with those second generation. You're just going to keep those 7 main people. And that's what I had an issue with. And that's what my brother's talking about, where we had to start going back out to the job sites, really talking to some clients, some of our employees, being more chill with them, giving them extra money, giving them bonuses, doing little extra shit like that. And that went a long way. So I started realizing that, I started taking that into my mind, and then I went deeper into the book, which taught me something even bigger, something better, which was sales. Sales. Sales, don't ever fucking forget it. If you make a business,
sales cures all.
It does, but you got to put it in the correct context, right? Don't try to do all the sales yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you in a situation if sales is the most important thing in your whole business, that is the most important thing in any business. Any business that you talk about, whether it's you could talk about doing a fucking coaching session, you could talk about a gym membership, a trainer, anything that you do. More important than everything, even the product, is the sales, bro. And if you don't got the sales down correct, you're gonna always fuck up. And I didn't know that. I didn't understand that. So what you do is you start getting your people together to do this fucking sales shit. Now this year totally changed my whole outlook on what I'm gonna do this year. I'm gonna start sales teams everywhere. I'm gonna tie their direct pay to be fucking tied into the company's growth. If the company grows, you're gonna get more money. If you fucking make me this amount of money, I'm gonna give you this amount of money plus your fucking payroll or whatever the fuck it is that I'm paying you. Which is gonna incentivize these motherfuckers to go even harder and do what they gotta do. And I started reaching out to people to try to figure out how to make this whole thing down, which is why me and my brother next week we're gonna go have dinner with some dude. He's gonna come through, some friend of ours, and then after that, the next week we're gonna go to LA. We're gonna go have like a big group conference with a bunch of guys we know and just start talking numbers and start seeing how we can apply everything. And it just opens up the door. It's just like a motivational thing that gets me going, that I'm just like, bro, I'm ready to take it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just fucking pumped, bro. And even on this podcast shit and everything that we're doing, I'm ready to just fucking go stupid crazy with it. But now I have I got a very good, clear mind on where I gotta do and how I'm gonna do it. And now looking at that, I know what I have to do. I look back at how I was thinking, and I grew. And I grew so much. And sometimes you even go look back at these podcasts, and I'm at another step of my life and another phase that
That's kind of why it's good to have these shits, because you see the first episode, you kind of see the growth. Every single fucking show, you see the growth. Like, I seen the first one, god damn, I want to delete that motherfucker, dog, because that shit was horrible, dog.
I like it. I like it because
shit, dog,
it's there forever. If our kids, what a lot of people do, a lot of successful people recommend you to do is to write a journal every day when you go to sleep. And in that
this
journal,
is kind of like a journal, though.
But we don't have a journal. But the reason why they do that is they have you writing in the journal, and then you have a fucking library, like a little fucking thing, and you put them up, and you put in dates. This is this date. This is this day. This is this day. And then whenever you're hella old or whatever the fuck, or whenever you want to think back, what was I thinking on this time? What was going through my mind? You open up that book and you open it and you see like, damn, how far did I come from? Or what was going through? Sometimes we forget who we are. You go back and reignite who the fuck you think you are. That's what I think about this podcast. This is like our modern day 21st century way of doing this shit. Yeah. But that's what I went through this last week.
And the way that people can see you in a different light, because let's say you're doing music, right? And you're a rapper, right? But they see you in a different light, in a different way. They're like, oh shit, okay, god damn, I didn't know this fool was like that. You know what I mean, I didn't know he knows this type of shit, like business wise. Because in rap, people look at you a different way, or people always want to get perceived a certain way, like, oh shit, I'm the shit, this, and this, I got money, I got this, and this, you know what I'm talking about? But they need to see the other side, the authentic side, so people can relate to you. They need to relate to you.
It's hella hard to be that authentic side.
What the hell do you mean?
I think it's hard to be authentic because there's so much fake shit out here, and the reason that there's a lot of fake...
Authentic is just being you. Like, if you work a job, then I work a motherfucking job, bro. I do this, but I love to do this.
But you can't do that shit now. We can, but we grew up on the age where there was no social media, there was no Instagram, so that's why you feel that way. But the younger crowd that are younger than you, they grew up, they didn't know nothing but Instagram or social media. Like young niggas that killed Young Dolph, right? The people that kill Young Dolph, those motherfuckers are retarded. Honestly, look at the first day.
I think they're retarded for killing him, but
the first day.
What the hell you talking about?
The first day after they killed him, the internet already said it was them. They said it was this guy. It's him. It's just him. And I was like, fuck no, it can't be
Simon
him.
was saying that the last time, though. He's saying that the internet is fucking crazy. The Instagrams, people want to go live and shit while smoking somebody. Or You see, fool. It's
I
already
didn't
been like
even know
10
you said
fools.
that in the last one.
Like he said,
That's
like
how it be. That's the new generation.
he said that shit like
That's
like
the new
2
generation. I mean,
podcasts
you
ago.
said that before. I said that before. A lot of people said that
Yeah,
before.
it's just fools again fucking pop
That's just
on
what it
live
is.
and shit.
Look, people. It's like, look, dog. You said it perfectly. I don't know if this was off camera or on camera.
No, that was 2 3 episodes ago, before.
It's the same shit. It's like, yes, there's fools
But that shit was
going out
crazy.
there and tagging sometimes, but for the most part, fools are out there bragging about their neighborhood, where they at, what they're doing on live.
They make it too easy though.
On their stories, and then they make it easy for themselves to become a target from their own enemies or the police. So like, I don't know what the concept was. What the dude did. But like, if he was like, yeah, we just got so and so, or niggas slipping on this street and that, like, all those little remarks that you're doing, you setting yourself up.
My main thing is, I really was surprised, bro, that they actually pointed this guy out right the next day.
I'm not surprised.
I didn't understand that the social media works this fucking fast, and that's what even got me like, God damn, you really can't get away with shit nowadays.
That means that they just sped up the fucking confidential informant rate by like a fucking 100. Before, the confidential informant would have to go and fucking pretend like he's somebody to go and fucking like hang out with you and blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers used to pull up to the block and be like, I know Silent, and then somebody would come up to me and be like, hey, can you come look at this dude because he says he knows you. I'm like, all right. I walk over there. And I'm all like, hey, what's up? And I said I was a different name. I was like, hey, what's up, man, Widow? He's like, oh, yeah. I was like, hey, man, so who you know?
My name is Jacob.
And he's all like, oh, I know Silent. Whoa, whoa. I was like, yeah, I'm Silent. He's like, oh, I thought you were Widow. It's like, nah, I was playing with you. I was like, what the fuck you doing here, man? He's like, oh. I was like, you need to get the fuck out of here, bro. I was like, you don't belong over here. And he was like, oh, shit. And he fucking left. Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
but how does that do authentic? We're talking about being authentic. You said it's hard to be authentic.
Listen, no. Listen, because we talking about the whole Instagram fake shit and all that bullshit. So now you can no longer do that. So now you got a lot of the youngsters game banging on Instagram, right? They hopping on motherfuckers' lives, banging on them. They're showing all their bangers on posts. They fucking banging a set, woo woo, and it's like, you don't know who's following them that they're letting follow them just because they said that they are active or like they're from a allied group or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's the new era of things. And that could be how Young Dolph got set up. You know what I'm saying? Or whoever. You know what I'm saying? It could just be like, hey, but usually when it comes to people who have a they're a public figure, their Instagram or whatever they have is on public. So anybody can get at them. So, but it could also be, people getting at them, talking to them for a while for a reason. There's a whole lot of things that could fall to the bottom of that. You know what I'm saying? The rose petal falls down and it is what it is. At the end of the day, the rose dies.
Do you think that isolation has a part in any of this?
Isolation,
I feel like
food again, fucking isolated out. Yes, a lot of fools have.
Wait, say that one more time.
Do you think isolation has a big part in this?
Like somebody separating themselves from everybody, or what specifically about isolation?
COVID has made so many people start to be isolated, bro. No, a lot of people, and I know because I don't give a fuck about that.
That is facts.
So me and my brother, I already got COVID twice. I really don't give a fuck. So my point is, I be here, there, and everywhere.
I got COVID once, and I give a fuck once.
My point is this: I'm not changing my social behavior because of this shit. Because at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna change it. Wash my hands a little more.
You're good. You're good.
But I'm talking about when I go to my homie's house, for a fucking game. Then I go to the next homie. I see everybody. And they are isolated, bro. Not even that. Not even the homies. Good, though. My family.
You're good because you're not a public figure. You know what I'm saying? Like Young Dolph, that's a public figure. That's somebody that everybody knows. You know what I'm saying? You don't know, like we don't know.
But what do you think about the social behavior that is changing? Everything. Is it good or is it bad?
I think it's bad.
I think
it's
people need
bad.
to talk to each other
Look,
more.
I mean, it depends. Who is it bad for? Who do you think is bad for?
I think personally, if you ask me, I had this conversation with my cousin. I think it's bad.
Who is it bad for?
I think it's bad for, and I don't want to seem like fucking I'm just beating a fucking dead horse with this racial shit or something like that, but I think it's really bad for like the Hispanic males. I feel like it's bad because it's a
not
reason.
Even Hispanic. It's not a race thing. That's not a race. That's a mental health thing, bro. Because motherfuckers are isolating themselves. They go through anxiety. They start going through depression, and they feel like they're alone.
But why?
Because this COVID shit has everybody feeling like they can't. They don't want to get COVID. I don't want to go outside. I might get COVID. This and this.
That is one thing.
You're in your house with your spouse or whatever, and then from there, that's the only person you can talk to. And
So
then you start
yeah, exactly. So the same thing that it's kind of the same, but not 100% the same. But hear me out. So when people get put in solitary confinement, right? They're separated from everybody, and they're not allowed to talk to anybody. And they're only allowed to come out for a certain amount of time. That kind of sounds like what the United States are doing to individuals during this COVID shit. Because if you got it, or if you feel like you got it or whatever, you could only come out a certain amount of time, or you got to stay inside and all this other bullshit. Like, regular people are not used to that. Like, people like us who've been to jail since teenagers, like, obviously, we grew accustomed to that. That ain't nothing to good. It's not something to be like, oh, I carry this as a badge on my chest. But this is something that regular people who have never gone through these things are going through now as adults.
Hey, fool.
So they know
motherfuckers are locked up in their own houses.
They do not have.
Yeah,
listen, they do not have the mental capacity to deal with those situations. So it is perfectly possible for somebody that is a fucking adult to all of a sudden have some type of problem, like psychologically, because they're locked in their house for like a week or 2 weeks at a time, separated from individuals. Because you got to understand,
they're not used to that.
What is a stereotype first? Let's do our homework. Your homework of the stereotype of American is like, oh yeah, this person has a family, they talk to a lot of people, but like, what about the people that don't have family and the people who are separated from everybody for who knows what reason? But they're following the guidelines. They are putting themselves in a situation that is going to basically fuck them up
psychologically.
Yeah, it's gonna fuck them up. You know what I'm saying? And they don't know it. Which is very ironic, because a lot of the prison systems do this to their own prisoners. It should, to be honest, it should be a real big eye opener for like a lot of anybody in society in America.
It's an eye opener for sure.
You should not be separating people from humans, period, when it comes to socializing, because that's part of our behavior as human beings. But my thing is that it does create problems psychologically.
I know. All right. So I think fools shouldn't be that much. That like they shouldn't be too scared of the COVID. Fool, straight up, they shouldn't be that scared of COVID. Yeah. They're just not going away. It's not going away. So what's the next step? Is
You're speaking for yourself as somebody that could say like, hey, you shouldn't be scared of COVID.
As scared as people really are, because people are isolating themselves for fucking years.
Yeah, but every individual differs. Some people are claustrophobic. Yeah. Some people are arachnophobic. Some people are scared of heights.
But like, you're dealing with specifics, and he's talking about generalities.
Yeah, I'm talking about like, look, bro, this is not going away.
You can find specific things to go.
This shit's not going away no more. It's not going.
If it's not an American that is in general.
If it's not going away silent, then it's time to step out and start talking to people. What's popping? What's going on with you guys? Hey, man, let me know what the word is. Let me see what's going down.
Are we talking about us?
No,
I could do
the majority.
No, I'm talking about the majority. When we're speaking for like a lot of the people that I've been seeing. Like, bro, it's time to step out. It's time to see what's going on. Like, hey man, what's going on with you? What's been popping out here? Let's go do something. This and this.
Look, I have family members that are not going out, bro, and it's unhealthy.
Not
And
even just family member, but there's hella people I already
I know,
spoke
but
to.
I don't speak for everybody.
Yeah,
because I don't talk to everybody. I'm just talking about my family members. I have not seen these motherfuckers, and they call me and they be like, "Hey, dude, I'm fucking going crazy in this fucking house.
Okay, I feel
can't get
you.
out of here."
Yeah, that's different, and that's dope because I bet you there's a lot of people that can relate to that same situation.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, let me hear
So
that.
What's the simple solution?
No, I want to hear what you were saying right now.
I mean, my main thing is I just told him straight up, like, fuck it, fuck that whole shit in general. Just get the fuck out here.
But there's
and do
precautions
But
when you're doing that, though.
I mean, look, for the end of the day, fool, this how I live my life. I live my life like if I die, I die.
You're
you know,
risky
if God
motherfucker.
calls my number, then He calls it, bro, and it is what it is. I'm not a superstitious motherfucker. If I gotta go, I gotta go, and I don't make a big deal out of it. I've been close to that situation before, and I don't feel really afraid of it because I know when God calls your number, you're not gonna be afraid. I mean, I'm not. I don't know about other people, but I'm not gonna be afraid. It's not gonna be something you're gonna be like, oh my god. You just be like, hey, bro, it happens. Now it's already kind of late. It's kind of short. I just read one of the messages. Answer some questions. Start with you, Silent. So we have someone right here asking a question. What's his fool's name? Cortez 8816. What y'all think about Wack 100 and the homie Tres selling?
Wack 100 and the homie Threats. I feel like it wasn't a conversation that probably should have happened. Only because, like, it could have started, but it could have ended very earlier than what it did. Because as soon as he would have seen how Wack was acting, like disrespectful, he should have just left it alone right away and not engaged in the conversation. That's me personally. Like, if I'm gonna talk to somebody, because like when you're on the phones and everything like that, like, and you automatically hear somebody acting hella crazy and doing all the extra shit, especially when you know it's gonna be publicized, because he knew he was going on Clubhouse. You know what I'm saying? Clubhouse is that new little platform that they got going on where
people can talk.
Motherfuckers from hoods are like getting together and talking about like hood shit. Like me personally, me knowing that type of shit, I would not get on anything, any type of platform that has to do with politics. You know what I'm saying? Like they're talking about music, but then like Wack is like bringing like a whole bunch of politics into it.
He started getting some
that
racist
has nothing
shit,
to do with what Thresh was saying. But at the same time, like as soon as that issue got aroused from like Wack, Thresh should have cut it short and not like engaged anymore. You know what I'm saying? He should have just left it alone and not like kept trying to pester him like and trying to get an answer. Because at that point, like you're just arguing with somebody that is already associating with people who are technically bad in the notes of some political shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're gonna go over here and interview people like 6ix9ine, right, and people who got paperwork, like legit, the paperwork is there. Everybody, the whole world knows. Then you just should not be fucking with that person no more. Because if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it's a fucking duck, right? You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. And Wack 100, he is what it is. I don't know what his politics are, but as far as me, I can't speak for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're over here talking with people who have a bad background or anything like that, I don't want to associate myself with you. But if that's you, then that's you. You know, to each his song, and I'll just leave it like that.
What do you think?
Wack and Tres. I thought Tres at first he was I thought he was kind of tripping up in the beginning, but then you have to listen to the whole thing to the very end, and then I was like, okay, he got the point at the end. At first I thought he was kind of like trying too hard. Like I wouldn't even ask him. I would have been like, fuck that, I'll get it on my own type of shit. I don't gotta ask nobody to try to come up in the music game type of shit. But then I seen it at the very end. I seen it to the very end. And I heard what he was saying, and I'm like, oh, he got a point. He defended himself on point, or he did what he had to do. He talked on point. So I'm like,
he didn't get loud.
Exactly.
That's what I like. He didn't act like a cell warrior. Like
that's
Wack
what
100.
everybody was saying on the comments as well. Everybody was saying like, hey, he carried himself how he's supposed to. The other fool was getting. The other fool was older, and he was over there getting hella aggressive, hella loud.
You know what I think people don't understand is what that platform is being used for, which is basically on another level of some fucking cyber confidential informant shit. It's like it's there for people to basically.
It's used for knowledge, bro. It's used for people, but they're
I don't believe it's used for knowledge because niggas are using it for the wrong reason.
No, but that's anything. Cars are used for driving, but niggas use them for drive-bys. You see what I'm saying?
I will not be on that.
People are using things. But go ahead. Was that your finishing statement on that thing?
Yeah, no, I was just saying that he presented himself. Yeah, I listened to the whole thing. He presented himself on point. But I think that fool Wack, he was getting on some racist shit at the very end. Like, bro, don't.
I feel like as soon as he started being disrespectful and doing all the extra shit, Thresh should have cut it short. That's just me.
So
he backpedaled at the end, though. That's why
you should no longer continue a conversation with somebody that has been holding conversations with people who have paperwork. Like, especially when it comes to, I mean, you know what? I'm just gonna backpedal. I'm just gonna leave that alone.
I got something to say.
I feel like it ain't my place to speak on shit when people are not from my area.
So
this is our opinion.
I just leave the shit alone.
Yes. So my main thing is this. Okay, Tres. I feel like he had a backstory the whole time, and I feel like if he wouldn't have kept that shit going, at first I was kind of like pissed a little bit because it looked like this fool was just disrespecting a lot of Mexicans and shit. He was just being very racial. Talking about that you guys should make your own channel called Chile and Papas and shit like that. Like, what the fuck? What would it be like if we told this fool he should make his own channel called fucking grape juice and fried chicken or some shit? That'd be racist as fuck. But he says this shit to us and he acts like it's not. So that's one point right there where that fool took it too far. But you know what? Tres took it there to expose this fool.
But that says expected.
It's not. Because you know why? Just because Tres did that, a lot of people were watching, bro. That
where's Wack 100 from?
He's from Peru, from Pacoima, which is a bunch of homies around that area. He's from the valley.
Would you say he's active?
No, he's not an active gang banger. He's a gang member.
Would you say he represents a hood that is active?
No, they don't fuck with him in his neighborhood. They don't fuck with him. But my point is this.
Okay, so like, do active fools participate in associating with people who are dropouts or snitches?
Hold on. Let me articulate what I'm trying to say here. Look, whether we like it or not, Wack 100 is somebody that is a figurehead and basically a gatekeeper.
And hip hop in the West Coast, no?
Yes. So he is basically a figurehead and a gatekeeper. Do you know what a gatekeeper is?
Yes.
Means that you can't get into certain places without him, right?
I don't think that though.
That's true. Whether you'd like to believe it or not, he will make it harder for you to come up if he doesn't want you to. Now the situation is you can find a way out of it.
In LA, yeah. But
well, in the Bay Area, nothing's really cracking out here, doc. Let's keep it 100, fool. Like who's blown up out here. And the only fools that blow up out here are not out here. They moved to LA.
The only motherfuckers that even can put you on. The only people that can put you on is Ghazi. Ghazi can put.
He can only put you on distributions, bro. If you want to really blow up, you got to. But that's a whole other different point that I'm not even speaking on. So Wack 100, right? He's a gatekeeper, bro. Now a lot of people didn't know when he was acting or how his true feelings actually are. Now after Tres did that, a lot of extra eyeballs started going at him, at Wack 100. And he felt the pressure. Why did he feel the pressure? He felt it because now you got a lot of Mexicans that are in different places that are seeing exactly what he said, right? And now that they're seeing that, they understand. Everybody together, this guy's a problem. He's not going to let our people come up. He's not going to let our people come up. And now it's out in the open what he's trying to do. So now you got guys that are way up there, you feel me, that are like, okay. And you know, one thing about us, like Mexicans in general, bro, we really don't fucking play. Like if somebody says hey, bro, this motherfucker right here, if you're in the way of progression, if you're in the way of money, wherever you see it, whether you're in the streets or wherever you're in the pen or wherever you're at, if someone's getting in the way of the money, bro, he got to get out of the way. They got to move him out of the way right away. And I think Wack 100 seen that, and it was good that Tres exposed that. Because now he knows what's really going down. And I feel like he broke down that barrier because Wack 100 backpedaled like a motherfucker after that.
He said, I got $4,000.
Man, I know a bunch of Mexicans from I love Mexicans.
I got $4,000 in your marketing.
Okay.
This,
and then let me close it out.
All right.
So when he told Tres, this is what I don't like about Tres, and I know Tres, I messaged him before and shit like that, you know, and I had nothing against him. Just me personally, once I already made that what you call it, once you've already like exposed the motherfucker for what he really is, and you know somebody's a snake, I would never fuck with him again. You know what I'm saying? And Wack 100 backpedaled. He apologized because he knew the motherfuckers was on his ass. He knew they were on his ass. You seen a bunch of dudes in Pacoima calling him out, telling him to come to Pacoima, come over here, let's hang out, come meet up with us. A Wack. He didn't want none of that smoke, and he knew what time it was getting, and he knows when the Mexicans get involved, it's not the same thing as when the brothers get involved. It's a whole nother level of things. And he knew it was Fools was on his ass. So, which I knew was going to happen. And mark my words, I even told my brother, they're going to get on his ass ASAP. And what happened? They got on his ass. And what he do? He apologized. And he even offered Tres $5,000 in marketing.
$4,000. He's like, hey, you know what?
$4,000 in marketing.
I apologize, man. This, and this. Backpedal like a motherfucker.
My point is this, though. Everything was smoothly. The only thing that I didn't like is that Tres took those $5,000 in marketing in front of everybody. I would have just been like, hey, you know what? I appreciate your apology. And you know, it is what it is, but I will kindly decline your offer. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it is what it is, and I'll keep it pushing.
Well, yeah.
He didn't do that. He took it. And that's
right
the only
there
thing.
It makes it look like
everybody.
it makes it look like he got what he came for.
Nah,
and it makes it look like this whole shit was for a different reason. Now,
look,
I ain't saying nothing bad about this.
You don't know.
I'm not saying nothing bad about this. I know him, and I know I'm not trying to disrespect him. But saying me personally, my character, how I am, I wouldn't have done that. But props for the homie for exposing Wack 100's true. And I feel like that whole thing is broken down now. I feel like Wack 100. His whole anti-Mexican come up type thing is thrown to the floor now, and it's an open gateway for us to come up. But that's my last words on that little thing. Anybody got some couple words they want to say before this shit's over?
Man, you know what? Capone got in that too. Capone said he tried to say that he didn't know. He's like, I don't even know Capone. This and this. Capone went in there. He's like, man, what you mean you don't even know me? We're just chopping it up. This and this. And at the end of the day, he's like, you know what? He that fool was switching up his stories like crazy, dog. I was over there like, man, this fool
Clout chasing.
He's tripping. He be tripping.
Any last things to say, Silent?
It's a crazy world we live in.
Yeah. All right, man. This is gonna be the last thing. I mean, see y'all next week. Yeah.
We out you, man. We out you. Oh, like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe.